Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Let me rejoice and be glad in it. I am 3 minutes late. I'm 5 minutes late. Well, 3 minutes. Today is Tuesday, April the 21st. And I had got a late start this morning. I had a late start this morning. Good morning, Peanuts. And the reason why I got a late start was because I went to bed with something on my mind. And in the early morning, good morning, Sean, I woke up with the same thing on my mind that I went to bed with. And I'm finding myself, now not wanting to. I usually would wake up in the morning and early in the morning just stroll through social media, and I just put the phone down because I am committed. Yeah. And that's why I said, I have to start by praying at night and start reading my Bible at night, because all the mess from that day, and being on social media is just so much, and it just clouds your mind. And then you got you got life that is going on, right? So my neighbor down the hall, she and I were talking about something yesterday. I had to go sit with my lady yesterday, and so I had we were talking about something, and I made a move without consulting God, without talking to God about it. And I said, "Oh, I said I wanted to move. I'm going to move." And where I live is really nice. It is really nice. I've been living here. I thought I had been living here more than 3 years, but I moved in here in 20 October. Actually, I signed my lease on my birthday, October the 20th, 2022. So 2020, this October, will be 4 years that I've been living here. And this is a nice building. It's really a nice building. Um, the only thing I don't like is we don't have a patio. And and that's pretty much the only thing I really don't like. I don't have a patio. And I live on the fourth floor. It's seven stories. And I live on the third floor. I love the amenities. I have a washer, dryer, a standard size, not no little skinny mini. I have a standard size washer, dryer, um, dishwasher, um, the microwave, the refrigerator, all of that is chrome. No white refrigerator, no white stove, no white microwave, none of that. So I mm, I started the process, start talking to, who I need to talk to, to move out of here. And I got the necessary papers, and I have set up an appointment to go visit the person that's gonna help me move, and then appointment to go and, talk to the facility where it is I'm gonna be moving. You just want to walk outside and enjoy without having to go up and downstairs. And we have an elevator. This building have an elevator, and after 5:30, you have to use like a fob to get in the building. You just can't walk in. People just can't walk in the building. And it's in a nice where the area they said back, you could tell back in the day the area used to be kind of rough, but now they're cleaning this area up, and it's like um it's like the old part of town, old part of Cape Coral, and but I still have what, there's a Walgreen, a CVS. It's a Starbucks. There's Starbucks, Walgreens, CVS, Family Dollar, Dunkin' Donuts. They just closed the Winn Dixie down, but a couple about a mile or so down, there's a Publix, and then there's a what is it, the Walmart, a neighborhood Walmart. So it's really in a nice area. But if you live in Florida, and especially by the water, and I live in I live in a flood zone. So there's some good size to it, and then there's a some downsides to it as well. I never wanted to, and then try to rationalize it and justify me wanting to move. Um, I I try to find the bad parts about it, but however, I can't really find anything bad about it. And and the apartment is nice. It's a nice 1 bedroom apartment. It's big enough for myself. So I went to bed with that and praying and asking God to order my steps, give me direction. Show me what it is. Tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. And I talked to my daughter about it, and she said, "Well, Mom, why do you want to move?" She said, I think you would be okay when you get you a car." And I will be. However, the new building is only 4 stories high. It's over in North Fort Myers. It's like right coming off the bridge, and just like I'm right off the bridge here. And it has a swimming pool. It has a balcony. But the only thing it don't have that I don't like, it has a washer dryer hookup. And now if you bring your own washer and dryer, and if your washer and dryer break down, you're going to be responsible for fixing it. And then they say you can rent a washer and dryer. You can rent their washer and dryer. And I'm saying that don't sit well with me. That's the only thing about it that's disturbing to me. That's the only thing about it. It's like a no for me with this apartment. So I'm still praying about it, and I'm still I made an appointment for Wednesday, so I'm going to stick with the appointment, and I'm going to see. And it's closer to. And I was telling my daughter, you wouldn't have if you come across one bridge, you don't have to pay toll. And I'll be closer. So she said, well, Mom, I don't care about coming across no bridge, paying no toll for no. I don't care about it. She said, I just think it would be better. I think it would be better, when you get your car. So I said, yeah, 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 you're right, you're right. So I'm knowing the decision that I'm going to make. And I think I'm just going to, right now, I think I'm going to stay where I am because I know where I am right now. And the plan, I really don't like the floor plan of the building. But however, when I see it, it may be something different. And what I do miss is I miss having a bathtub. I have a shower, but I have to also keep in mind I am a woman of a certain age, and what I used to could do, I can't do now. Yes, the cons is what matter the most, and that's a big thing for me. The washer dryer situation, that's a really big thing for me, because I do laundry. Sometimes I do laundry every week, and I just usually I don't get my day started till after my soap opera go. After the beyond the gates go off, and that's at 3 o'clock here. So then I just get up and start doing something. And if I wake up in the middle of the night and I want to do laundry, I do laundry. I have gotten to the place where I can't go to a laundromat. I ain't been to a laundromat. I don't know how long I haven't been to a laundromat, and then paying rentals for a washer and dryer, and already paying rent when I'm a diva on a budget. I'm not seeing it. So I'm gonna keep on praying, and whatever God tell me to do, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And so by me waking up early in the morning and then trying to talk to God, and then trying to see what did I miss during the night. I said, yeah. Then I went back to sleep and I set my alarm for 6:30. And I went right past the alarm, got up and turned the alarm off. But yesterday I was talking about being committed and consistency. And you know what? One thing about me, I ain't saying that I have not lied and I can't lie and I will and I won't lie, but I don't want to be perceived as a liar, because I told the ones who watching and who already watch, I told them, see you tomorrow. Well, if you see me in the YouTube streets, holler at me. See you tomorrow at 8 o'clock, 7:40. I said 7:45. I said, see you tomorrow, 7:45. And I don't want to be I don't want to be perceived as a liar. I don't want to be perceived as a liar, and I want to be committed and be consistent. I want to be consistent and committed, and that is the only way this channel is going to grow the way that I want it to grow. Consistent, being consistent and intentional. I want to do things intentionally. So I said, before I even turn the TV on, I I know I can't have too many things going on at one time. I can't have too many things going on at one time. So I was reading the Bible. I was reading the Bible this morning, and I started at John 4, and that's where the lady at the well, that Jesus met the lady at the well, at Jacob's well. And I was reading that, and doing while I was reading it, God was letting me know that He can and He will meet us right where we are. And that He know everything. He already know everything about us. There's nothing about us that He do not know. He said, I knew you when you was formed in your mother's womb. So if He knew me then, He know me now. So in one of my Bibles, that in my the standard, the Christian Standard Bible, they have like little words of hope. And it was saying, knowing about Christ is not is no substitute for knowing Christ. I know about Christ, but I want to have a more intimate relationship. I want to know him. I just don't want to know about him. I want to know him. So that's where the consistency come in. Be in my Bible. And this morning I was reading in the King James version, but like the Holy Spirit say, read the standard version, and when I open it up, that's what I came to. It's saying, knowing about Christ is no substitute for knowing Christ. You can know about who God is. But when you know him for yourself, that means when you know something for yourself, if you know a person, that means you have a relationship with that person. That you're not getting secondhand information. You know that person on a personal level, a personal level. So I want to get to know God on a more deeper level. So I have to be consistent, and I have to be committed to knowing, finding out who this God that I say that I serve, this God that I say that I love. I got to get to know him on a more deeper level. And then I'm reading it say, if you're living outside of God's purpose, you're living outside of God's power. You have to be in the will of God and in the purpose of God to get the power from God. So I want to do and be what God say I can be, and do what God say I can do. I don't want to do something that God did not equip me to do. And sometimes we see something and we can do it. Is that my purpose? Is that my purpose? And I just don't ever want to be outside of the will. I just don't want to be outside the will of God. And yesterday, where is it? Where is it? I was oh here it is. I have tonight in my single ministry. We're still doing. I like to do study things. We're doing 30 Life Principle Bible Study by Charles Stanley. And I'm gonna tell you, this is a good book. It's a good workbook. It's a good study book because it's a mind provoking, and you have so many. Oh man, aha moments. You have so many aha moments. And yesterday, I'm gonna tell you, when you pray, be careful. Sometimes you have to be. I told myself I'm going to church with Auntie today, and no one can tell me I didn't attend. um. Okay. So, but anyway, thank you for that. Oh wow. So I was talking to, yeah, be careful what you pray and ask for. Exactly. That's what I'm getting ready to say. Um, when you pray, however you word it, pray or just talking to God, and you're telling God what you want, you're telling God what you need, and just be careful of what you pray for. Because, see, God will give us the desires of our hearts. God will give you what you prayed for and what you asked for. And sometimes he'll give it to you better than you could have even thought or imagined. But sometimes I think, however, sometimes God will give you something that you asked for, and he know that ain't what you want. That is not what you need. That's just what you want. And he'll let you see this is not for you, but you want it. You prayed for, you kept praying for, you kept asking for, you kind of begged for it. Now you bug me about it. Now I'm giving it to you. And you'll find out it's not even what you thought it was. So when you pray with intent. Call it out like you already have it. Call it out like you already have it. Pray with a purpose. No, we could go to God and, oh, I want this God, and oh, I need this God. See, we get want and need mixed up. I don't need to be, I don't need a new apartment. This apartment I'm living in is still new. Because when I call a Uber, they don't even know how to get here. And when they get here, this, oh, how long this building been here? Well, how long you been? I'm the first person to ever live in this apartment. I was in this building when it first opened. I was among the first people to move in. And I've been going backwards and forward. Do I want to, I've been going backwards and forward. Do I want to move out the apartment? Do I want to go out to my mom's house and fix the house up and live in the house? But then when I think about living in the house, I think about the property tax. I think about the property tax. You got homeowners insurance. You gotta whatever break in the house, you gotta fix it, got to keep the yard mowed, and do I want all those responsibilities? No. I want something break in this apartment, I'm going downstairs and put in a work order. And they're gonna come up here and they're gonna fix it. I don't have a yard. I don't have a yard. So decisions. Before I make a decision, I am learning how to talk to God. Thank you, Miss Shirley. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. I'm trying. I'm going. No, I'm not trying. I'm going to do the best I can to be here. To be here every morning except Saturday and Sunday at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. I'm going to do my best to be here, and I'm going to be more prepared than I am today because when just give you a small synopsis of what I'm talking about moving. God didn't tell me to move. It's just something that I want to do. So I'm gonna be steadfast and I'm gonna wait on God. If God say go, I'm going. If God say stay, I'm gonna stay. So, and last night I did it to myself. I woke up when I was just gonna lay in the bed because I said I'm so sleepy. I'm so sleepy. I'm so sleepy. And when the alarm went off, oh, excuse me, when the alarm went off at 6:30, I just got up and turned the alarm off and got back in the bed. However, God would not let me sleep. So I had to get back up. And that that I wasn't being committed. I wasn't being committed to what my purpose is. My purpose is to get up in the mornings at 6 o'clock, start reading my word, listen to some music, get my mind at ease, read my word, read my devotion for today, read my word, meditate on what I've read, and then, come on and give, for the ones that come on, give encouraging words. So I'm committed to the mission. And then I thought about it, I said, you know what? This spirit right here, this is not God. Get your butt up. Get up. So now I know I have to be committed to getting up 6 o'clock every morning. because I made that commitment. I made a commitment. I got to be consistent with it, and I got to stick with it. Get up 6 o'clock in the morning, read, listen to your music where you get your mind in the right space, check your blood pressure, wash your face, brush your teeth, get in your words, meditate on what you're reading, and listen at what God is trying to tell you. Slow your mind down. That's right. My mind was restless, but body was tired. And see, that's how I was. That's how I was. And I didn't want to get up, but I said, no, 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 And I don't want to just rush through talking about something that I have not experienced, talking about something that I have no clue about, talking just running my mouth. I don't want to do that because that's not helping nobody. So, yesterday I had to go through my basket and find, my letter from the Social Security office and stuff like that, and kind of clean my desk off, clean that out. Um, so this morning I'm just gonna read some of the little things that I have written down that just might help, because when I see something on Instagram, I like to write down things that I think will help me. And I feel like if it'll help me, then it'll help you. So some of it says, I like this one. A lion will never eat grass, no matter how hungry he is. Be like a lion. Never lower your standards because somebody expect that from you. And that, yesterday I was talking about how I was having heart palpitations because um I was holding so much anger and so much animosity and so much unforgiveness in my body. And it was like I was just going along to get along. And it was just doing so much harm to me. And then I get upset about it, and then I get angry about it, and then my head is said, oh well, just get over it, just get over it. Because I tell everybody, oh, just get over it, just get over it. And so in my head I'm thinking that I am over it, but my body was still retaining the anger, the animosity, the frustration, the aggravation, the unforgiveness. And it was wreaking havoc on my body. Wake up in the morning with headaches. Couldn't really sleep good at night because if I turn on my left side, my heart feel like it was coming out my chest, boom, 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 and doing like it's doing flips and stuff like that. And I'm getting scared, right? Then I turn on my right, it's the same thing. Can't sleep good on my back at all. And it was just because I wasn't being true to who I am. I was letting the things in life, life was life, and life was beating the hell out of me, even though I was trying to present uh, a happy front, but holding all this stuff inside. And I wasn't being honest with myself, and I wasn't being true to myself. And then this one man at church, we have this assignment in Sunday school where we got to pick 5 people. And our 5 people could be in our family, it could be, 5 people that we know, to evangelize to. To ask them, if you died, and I'm gonna ask y'all this question: if you died today or tomorrow, where do you think your where do you think you would where do you think you would spend eternity? And so, asking them where would they, because just because you think, just because you say you're saved, you have to question yourself. Am I really saved? Do I really walk the way that God want me to walk? Do I really think the way God want me to think? Am I really Christ-like? Do I really have the attributes of Christ? Am I loving? Am I compassionate? Am I kind? Am I loving? Am I a peacemaker? Have to ask yourself all those questions. Do I like to be in mess? Am I a gossiper? Am I a petty Betty? Do I like listening to gossip? You know, and I had to ask myself all these questions because going to church don't make you a Christian, just like sitting in your garage don't make you a car. And I began to question, I began to notice the change in me because I began to question myself. Lord, why I go to church on Sunday? Lord, do I just go to church because that's something that I do? That's what I do on Sunday. I go to church. Why am I going to church? And then I had to stop and think. I said, well, why am I going to church? Am I going to church just to be a part of something? Am I going to Sunday school and being part of the prayer ministry and being part of the choir and being, part of the love ministry? How can I be part of the love ministry when I don't even like some of these people that's in the love ministry? And I began to question myself about these things. So I stepped away from the choir. I stepped away from the choir because I'm questioning myself. Why do I want to be a part of something that the people get on my nerves sometimes? Because they're not doing things the way that I think that they should be doing. So I stepped away. And then Sunday, the choir director said, she said, I've been meaning to call you. Well, what's going on? And I told her, anxiety is what was going on. Anxiety had me in a chokehold. Anxiety had me in such a state that everything aggravated me. And I don't do everything people want me to do. I don't behave the way people think that I should behave. So why do I think people should do what I think they should do? Who am I? I had to have a conscious conversation with myself. I had to ask myself some hard questions. I had to face some hard truths. I had to face that I'm angry with my mom. I had so much unforgiveness in my heart that it was wearing my heart out. And it felt like it was trying to take me out. And now there's a war I'm at war with myself. But yet I'm still trying to smile and say everything is okay. And one of the I had my breakthrough Saturday, and in church Sunday school, somebody asked, "Good morning, sister. How you feeling this morning?" And I started laughing and I said, well, I'm going to say what everybody always said. I'm blessed and highly favored. I said, let me give you the best one. I am too blessed to be stressed. So one of the elders started laughing and said, you know what Pastor done said about saying that? So we just started laughing. And I'm going to tell you something. Every now and then, question yourself. You might not like the answer. And if you really honest with yourself, you might not like the answers that you get. I mean, if you are really, really honest with yourself, I question me sometimes. I question myself. I mean, if you got to write it down, if you don't like your behavior, and if you see yourself getting to be in a place that you don't like, having negative thoughts, don't see the good in nothing and nobody, wake up in the morning and don't want to even speak to people and don't want to say good morning, regardless of whatever the situation is, it's still good morning. It's going to always be a good morning when you wake up in the morning because you woke up. Now, it's only you can determine how your day is going to be. Only you can determine how your day is going to be. And yesterday I had said something. I had wrote something down again, and I thought it made so much sense. And it said, and I'm gonna say it today: we and we alone are responsible for how unhappy we allow miserable people to make us feel. You are in charge of your feelings. Have you ever heard yourself say, "Oh, she made me so mad. Oh, she made me so angry." How you let somebody make you so angry? You are not in control of you. You are allowing someone else to be in control of your happiness. You are allowing someone to disturb your peace. You are allowing someone to disrupt your day. And I can kind of hear people saying, that's easy to say. Yeah, when you don't experience it, it is easy to say. And then when people find out where that little spot at that can prick your nerve, that's the one they're gonna stay on all the time. All the time. They're gonna stay on that. They're gonna stay on that spot. However, by me reading the word, not only just reading the word, but believing in what God said, when He said, "My grace is sufficient." God give us new grace and new mercies every morning to deal with what's going to happen today. God not gonna give me new grace and new mercy for tomorrow, because tomorrow ain't here. Yesterday gone. So the grace and mercy I had yesterday was sufficient just for yesterday. But He said, "My grace is sufficient." So His grace is sufficient for the day, for the needs that I'm gonna have today. I don't know what's gonna happen when I walk outside this apartment. I don't know what's going to happen when if someone called me and might be yelling and screaming at me, and you know, okay, you yelling and screaming, is that going to make me do anything? I'm going to have to just sit here and assess the situation before I open my mouth back to you. Because if I open my mouth back to you and say some things to you, everything I'm saying, and that, I was upset. That's why, no ma'am, no ma'am, no ham, no spam, no cheese. Whatever I'm saying to you, I meant to say it. And I'm saying it with a sober mind. And if it hurt your feelings, oh well. So that's why I'm learning to just sit back and and recognize that for what it is. It's just something to come in your world to upset your day. When you already when life is life in you, and you're trying to figure it out, and then it's like it's just piling on, piling on, piling on, and you don't know what to do. Sometimes you just have to step back. You have to step back and say, today I choose not to worry about what I have no control over. The only thing I have control over is me and how I'm going to deal with it. I don't believe in a heaven or a hell. I believe our spirits are selected to come back, good or bad. Like you'll look at someone and be reminded of such and such. Oh, okay. Okay. But I do believe there is, because the Bible speaks of it. So therefore I believe there is a heaven, and I do believe there is a hell. And we And I've heard some people say, well, we living in hell right now. No, baby, we ain't living there. We ain't, sometimes it may feel like it, but trust and believe, this is not it. And I used to like to tell people to go to hell. You could just take your ass right on the hill, just go, or say something smart like, "You going to hell with gasoline underwear on." I used to say that, and then one Sunday and Sunday school pastor say, "Stop telling people to go." He said, "I know some of y'all done said it before. Stop telling people to go to hell." He said, "Cause hell is a real place." So I believe not because the pastor said it, but because the Bible said that, fire and brimstone, you know. So I believe and I respect that. I respect what you're saying because that is what you believe. And I being where I am and wanting to know more, that's why I am beginning to dig deeper, dig deeper. I just can't picture someone sending someone they created and watching them burn in eternity. And you know what? I get that, but however, let me tell you, um, just like we have our children, okay, we have our children, and we teach our children. God loves us so much. God don't want any of us to go to hell. God don't want any of us to be damned to hell for eternity. God is a free will God. Free will means I want you to come to me willingly. God loves the just. God allows the sun to rise on the just and the unjust. It rains. It when it rain on all of us. The rain fall on the people who say they Christians and the people who say, and the ones that don't proclaim to be Christ-like. So it rains on both. However, God is such a free will God. He give you the will to want to accept Him. He give you the will to want to be a part of His kingdom. You're still is, he wants you to come to Him, that He don't make you come to Him. He wants you to come so freely. And when you come to God freely, then that's just like being a parent. You don't want you raise your children. You could have three children and you raise them the same, but one of them gonna give you so much trouble, and and people gonna and you're gonna say, "Well, these kids, I raised these kids. They came out the same house. I said the same thing to each one of them, and it's just this one. It's just this one because that one wants to do what that one wants to do, and the only way that I can explain it, God don't want to see us perish. God don't want to see us go astray. And I believe it breaks God's heart when one of his children go astray. It really do. And I've heard the old people say, 99 just won't do. God will go out and look for the lost sheep and bring that will leave 99 sheep, the shepherd will leave 99 sheeps to go out and look for and save one sheep. And I believe that's the way it is with God. God can't make you love Him. God can't make you do right. That's something that you want to do on your own. Come to Him freely. And when you come to Him freely, you're going to want to do right. You're going to want to be right. Of course, we're not going to be perfect because we come from sinful parents. He said we were born in sin and shaped in iniquity. We don't live in a perfect world. So that way, by not living in a perfect world, we are imperfected people. We're not perfect. No, not one of us. Some of us try, but we're not perfect. I am so like Oh, I don't even like to joke about OCD because I'm so like that. Like when I'm at home, my towels got to be folded a certain place. If you come and move something and I got it where I want it to be, then and you turn it to somewhere, I got to go behind you and turn it back the way that I had it. Or when, like, when I used to buy canned goods, all my canned goods had to be lined up, the corn, the cream corn, the stewed tomatoes, the string beans, the sweet peas, the pork and beans, everything had to be in a line, and the label turned to the front. And then, my meats had to be in the refrigerator a certain way, turned a certain way. So when I go in and pick up something, I didn't even have to look to see what I'm picking out. And if you come in, and my daughter, she gets smart about it now. She'll say, like, she came to my house and the rug on the front door was crooked. They said, "Oh my God, the rug is crooked. Now you got to clean up the whole house now." And we laugh about it because I'm like that. If there is one, if I drink out of a glass and I rinse it out and put it in the sink, and then I have a spoon or something in the sink, and I make dishwater, just sprinkle some Dawn on a rag and wash it. I make a whole sink of dishwater to wash that one glass, to wash that one spoon. Then that mean I got to wipe the cabinets down. Now I got the mop, and I got to sweep. I got the mop. Now I got to open the refrigerator and wipe the refrigerator all down and stuff like that. So, and that's the way I am, and I respect the person belief, and I just don't try to change a person's mind about what they believe in, because that's what you believe in, and I respect that. But the God I serve, he don't do he do things on purpose. However, but when you come to him, you can't make a person do right. You want them to do right. You want them to do right. And then there are consequences and repercussions behind not doing right and not being right and making mistakes. Of course, going to make some mistakes. And I saw this on ooh I saw this on Instagram early this morning. I saw it on Instagram where this preacher was talking about. He said, and he gave the scripture, and I thought I could remember the scripture. Oh my goodness. And he gave the scripture. But there's a song saying, "We fall down, but we get up. We fall down, but we get up. We fall down, but we get up. For a saint is just a sinner who fell down and got up." So I think it was in Proverbs. It came from Proverbs. And it was talking about a righteous man a fall. A righteous, how did the man say? He said something about like a righteous. I'm trying to what he said. He said, for a righteous man will fall down 7 times, but a wise man will fall down 7 times. Something the way he was saying, I can't remember, but I got to go back. I got to go back. I got to find that scripture. And what he was saying, a righteous and a wicked man. A righteous man will fall down 7 times, but he'll get up. A wicked man will fall down and just stay down. And walking with Christ, yes, you're going to fall down. However, you're going to get back up. That's just like riding a bicycle, learning to ride a bicycle. That's just like, you know, learning to ride a bicycle. We had a training wheels on. We had the training wheels on. I watched one Christmas I gave my granddaughter when those little scooter things came out, and she had the elect. I got her one of the electric scooters, and this girl's telling her you can't start out fast because you don't know what you're doing. She get on it and go, on the little scooter, on the scooter. She fall. She jump right back up. Get on it again. Then she go, I'm okay, I'm okay. We still laugh about it. I'm okay, I'm okay. But you know what? She get right back on it. Fall down again, scrape her elbow in the drive, like my mom's house got hedges, the driveway then hedges and stuff like that. So she driving so fast she run right into the head, right into the hedges. Then she go and lay there talking about, I'm all right, I'm okay. Get right back up. And that's how we do. That's how we do. We make mistakes. We fall down, we come short of the glory of God. However, we get right back up, we dust ourselves off, we ask God to forgive us, and sometimes we even repent for what we do, not to even go back to that sin anymore. And God forgives us for, for the sin. When you tell God in your heart for real, and you say it in your mouth for real, and you ask God to forgive you for real, for real. God forgives us for the things that we have done. God is not like man. He don't hold that stuff over our head. So I choose to walk with God. I choose every day. I strive for perfection. I know I'm not going to be perfect as long as I'm living on this side of glory. I know I'm going to do the best that I possibly can to be right. I'm going to do the best that I can to treat people right. And when I fall, I'm going to get back up. I'm going to dust myself off. I'm going to get back up and I'm going to keep it moving. Not going to lay down in that. I'm not going to wallow in that. I'm trying to be the best part of me that I can be. I pray and ask God not to give me a gossiping spirit, to deliver me from a gossiping spirit, from talking about people, from wanting to know what's going on with people and stuff like that. When somebody getting ready to say something negative about a person, I used to be so eager to hear that. I don't want to be that eager to hear something negative about one of God's creation, one of God's creatures. I don't want to do that, and I don't want to be that way be that way anymore. So thus that's why I don't be on YouTube, like I don't be in the YouTube streets like that no more, because I don't want to hear how people are hurting other people, how people are hurting each other. When it's enough, as high as things is, gas here is almost $5. In some instances, gas is $5. Right now, gas where I'm living at is fluctuating from um just say it's $5, four to $5. The price of groceries going up. Everything is going up. So, you know, I want to concentrate on what I can and what I cannot do. And in the YouTube streets, I'm scared. I'm telling you, honestly, I'm just scared to be in the street, because if I say one thing, I don't want nobody coming for me. I don't want to catch no more stray bullets. I don't want you to be aiming at somebody and then I get hit in the crossfire. I don't want that for me. I do not want that for me. So I try to stay true to I'm going to stay true to who I am. I'm going to speak on what I know how to speak on. See, everybody pretty much know that I used to, yeah, gas here. Um, I like to, when I'm going to Publix or Walmart or going somewhere, I like to look at the prices of gas. I just always have, to compare the prices of gas. And some places like 3.89, that's not bad. Then I looked at gas the other day, it was 4.99. I said, won't they just put $5 up there? So gas is kind of fluctuating here between 3 and 5, $4 and $5. Let's talk about that. What we could do. It ain't too much we can do because we got a lunatic in the office right now, and those kind of things. I'm not saying I'm worried about those things, but those are things that because it's going to be what it's going to be, and you still going to get in your car and go where it is you need to go, and you still need to eat, and I'm still going to shop at Publix. So, and I'm going to pick up something from Walmart. So, what do? You fall down, you get back up. Just don't, you don't wallow in it. So, this morning it was just a what you call it? With a goulash pot this morning, talking about a little bit of everything. Yep, you've been there before, Auntie. So I completely understand. There's an app for that, Auntie, but claim that card with verbally said, sweetheart, I done already put it out there in the atmosphere, honey. I already done said by the end of the summer, I said by the end of the year, I will have me a new car. And I will have me a new car. But then I said, however, the other day I said, by the end of the summer, I'm gonna have me a new car. And you know what kind of car I'm stuck on now? And I call these the little shoebox. I used to call, I don't know why, I call these Herman Monster shoe cars. I love those little Kia Souls. And I want a white Kia Soul with red interior with a sun roof top. And I'm gonna continue, I'm gonna manifest that car. And when I get it, I'm gonna take a picture, and I'm gonna take a picture on the outside. I'm gonna take a picture in the inside. Then I saw another one. It was like a French vanilla with peanut butter interior with a sunroof top. That's the two that I want. I want either a white one with red interior, or it's like a beige with peanut butter interior with a sunroof top. So that's that's I'm gonna be better tomorrow because I'm gonna get up on Lord's willing. I'm gonna get up on time. I haven't listened to my song, Teach Me How to Forgive, and I haven't listened to my other song, I Choose Me. I got two more chapters that I gotta read in John. So I'm trying to read at least four chapters every morning in John. I read my devotional, and I have some studying to do for tonight for the singles ministry 30 life principles. Gonna be doing a study in that tonight. So I got a lot to do today. And plus, I'm not gonna dwell on am I moving? Am I moving, or do I want to move? I'm just like I'm saying, I'm talking to God about it, and I'm gonna keep the appointments that I've made to go see, to go and see what's what. But the thing is, I keep coming back to that washer and dryer situation. I keep coming back to that washer and that dryer situation. And I like the floor plans of where I'm living now, because you can't even tell where my washer and dryer is. And the floor plan that I've seen look like the washer and dryer be in the kitchen, and I'm seeing a lot of that. And I don't want to wash clothes and cook dinner at the same near each other. So I'm not gonna make no rash decision. Yeah, I agree with your daughter. You're thinking too much about everything. Exactly. Exactly. I was and I find myself, I don't grit my teeth at night, but I grind my teeth. And you know how you do this, and I do it so hard, and that's where my I'm having the headaches from grind, from doing that. I do it like all just at night, and wake up in the morning and my head is hurting. So I talked to my daughter about things and she put things in perspective for me. Think, mama, you got this going on, you got this going on, and then all of that get in your body, and then you hold on to things. You just hold on to things too much, mom. You get angry, you just hold on to that anger, you just hold on to that anger. And I'm liking the way my body feels now. I love the way my body feels now. And I don't want nothing coming into my body to disturb. I don't want nothing to disturb where I am. So, and I'm the only person that can stop it. I can either accept it or reject it. So you may have something going on today that you need to either let go, reject it, or just accept it as it is as of now. And it may be something that you can do something about, however, you just can't do something about it now. Or you may be in a holding, God just might have you in a holding pattern. And he may, in that holding pattern, he's not saying go left. He's not saying going right. He's saying be still. Be of good courage. Wait. Wait. Just wait. God might be saying wait. Don't move without God saying so. Don't start something without God saying so. So that way you will alleviate the unnecessary stress. You will alleviate the frustrations and the aggravations. So let's just be committed. I accept holding grudges. I'm in that holding phase to protect self for now. Miss Peanut, Miss Peanut, let me tell you something, girl. Don't accept holding grudges. You know what? It's by you holding whatever I don't know what's going on. However, as a person, let me tell you, I used to take pride in holding it. Talk about somebody that can hold a grudge. I used to could hold a grudge. By holding whatever grudge it is, sis, I'm just asking you, please let it go. By letting go of that grudge, that don't mean you're accepting what that person did. You're letting that go because it benefits you mentally. Because you know what? It takes some willpower to hold on to something. And it's not just because you're not talking to a person, just because you're not accepting the phone calls, just because you holding a grudge, that's not affecting that person. It may affect them for a little while, but after a while, it's like they going to sleep while you still holding that grudge. It's like I heard Joyce Meyer say one time, unforgiveness and holding grudges against people is like drinking poison and expecting you drank the poison, but you expecting the people to die. So to protect yourself, Miss Peanut, set boundaries. Let your no be no and your yay be yay. And if they don't accept that, that's on them. That's not on you. To protect your peace and to guard your heart, set boundaries, set limitations. Let it go, sis. Let it go. Cause it'll be more hurtful to you than it is to those people. And you know what would be more hurtful? When they know, when they when you don't accept what they're trying to give you. You don't have to accept everything that a person is trying to give you. You have the right to reject it. I've set boundaries too. Not never again. Set boundaries and be committed to the boundaries that you set, and you accept the way that it is. If it's not if it's not beneficiary to you, if it's not prolonging your life, if it's not making your life the better, if it's frustrating you, if it's aggravating you, please, I want you to just sit down, meditate on it, talk to God about it. I mean, have an honest conversation with God about it. And you may have already done that, but I feel like holding a grudge means you're angry. And you're not only holding on to that grudge, you're holding on to that anger about whatever was done to you. Talk to God about what was done to you. I mean, I'm just going to tell you for myself. And I'm gonna tell you, I've already said, I told in the love ministry Saturday, because I was holding so much unforgiveness in my heart, and I was holding so much animosity, and oh, I was just holding so much in my heart, and I really didn't know that I was holding it. I didn't know, and I was telling them I couldn't even grieve my mom because she left this mess back here for me to deal with, right? And I was so angry with her. And I said, I can't even be angry with her because she ain't even here. So where am I? Who am I going to put that anger on? So I internalized it. I held it in and I held it in. And that's when I started having the heart palpitations. I was having the headaches, and, my body was all discombobulated, my blood pressure up and down, and having, just all messed up. And I was reading this book. We're reading this book called 101 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think. And I started reading that, not just reading the book, this one chapter. This one chapter. That book had me crying. Oh, it had me crying. And then when we had the meeting Saturday, we just meet to talk about the book. And I wasn't going to tell them what I was experiencing. I wasn't going to tell nobody what I was going through. And then we got to this one, and she's giving you these, I think it's 18 different steps, right? And we got to like step number 6 or something like that. And it just came out. And I was just telling them, I said, you know what? This book was encouraging. It was motivating. It was uplifting. It was everything that I needed for it to be. And I just told him, I said, y'all, you know what? I'm going to tell y'all something. I said, I was so angry at my mom. I said, a mom being angry at my mom. She left all this stuff for me. Oh, God, I was so angry. And I didn't know all I needed to do was just release it. I needed to release it. I needed to let it go. Because when you hold on to anger, and animosity and holding. You see how my hands are? I'm holding all of that in. But once I decided to let it go, I had to open my hands up and let it go. Now I can receive the blessings that God had for me, have for me. I can receive good things when I let it go. And I cried. I cried. And I was telling them how I felt. But that book just brought something out of me. That book helped me to release the anger. Because if I had not released the anger, I would be in the hospital right now. Because I was having heart palpitations so bad that my daughters, well, Mom, check your blood pressure, take your medicine, take your blood pressure. And if you don't feel any better, call me. And then we just go to the emergency room. And I said, well, I'm a like urgent care. You go to urgent care, is some of them hooked up with your doctor, and your they'll inform your doctor that you know in the hospital, and they'll set up an appointment quicker that way. So I said, if I go to urgent care, I know my doctor gonna call me. Then they're gonna set up an appointment for me to have a visit. And but the moment and I was reading this morning about this man whose son was sick, gravely ill, and he went to Jesus and said, you know, you don't have to come and see come and he said, come and heal my son because he's gravely ill. And the moment he was telling Jesus about if you come and see my son, I know he'll be well. And the moment he was telling Jesus that, Jesus had already done healed his son. It don't take God long to do nothing because he is God. He's an all the time, on time God. God can fix it right now. God could take as long as he needs to take for you to get the lesson. But as long as you holding on to that grudge, sister girl, please, 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 for you, let it go. Please let it go. Let it go. I was angry with my mom for not telling me she was sick. I found out in the end, but everyone around her knew. I was angry for a year straight. It will be 3 years this November. And, I'm glad God did not allow me to be angry with my mom that long. I'm glad that I wasn't angry with her. And I wasn't angry that, my mama, I'm an only child. My mama ain't never wanted me to know what was going on with her. And she was, and don't tell Maritha. Cause because of me being an only child, I'm gonna tell you, then I'm gonna end. For me being an only child and plus being out there in the streets on drugs and stuff like that, sometimes I think my mama didn't think very highly of me because I did what I wanted to do. And I was always my own person, but I always tried to please my mama. I always tried to please my mama. And then it got to a point that where I just got tired of trying to please her because nothing I did, what could please her. And I made a promise to myself. Whenever I had children, I would never treat my children the way my mama treated me. There were some good moments and there was a lot of not good moments. Even in the bad time, I always wanted to please my mom. And I made a promise to myself that I would never make my children feel less than. I would never talk down to my children. I would never make my children feel like they just utterly useless. And that's how my mama made me feel sometimes, like I was like just useless, like I didn't know nothing. And so therefore I blame her for a lot of things that I did not know. So, she gets sick and, everybody else would know. I wouldn't, I moved out of town and come to find out my mom had been in the hospital for 7 days. And by me, oh, I was in the hospital. But why didn't you call me? Why didn't you let me know? Oh, Maritha, you know how you are. Then okay, all right, leave it like that. So this last time, when I finally made a decision that I was not going to allow my mom to make me feel less than what God said that I am, she got angry. And I stopped going out to my mama's house. I stopped talking to my mama because I was guarding my peace. I wasn't holding no grudge against my mama. And something came to a head. I had to tell my mama exactly how I felt about everything that she was doing, how she took other people's side against me, all of that. And I just let it came all out respectfully. I did. And I just no more. And I said, I'm not gonna ever allow nobody to disturb my peace the way my mama did. And I'm not bad mouthing my mom. It was that's just the way it was. And this last time when my mom was in the hospital, every time my mama went in the hospital, I'm there sun up to sundown. If I could spend the night, I'm spending the night. And this last time in the hospital was different. When my son called me and told me that my mom was in the hospital, I said, okay, all right, I'll be out there. My daughter called me and she said, Mom, my oldest son had already told, I knew my mom, she was on dialysis and had other issues. Then I found out that she had blood cancer and didn't want me to know that either. My oldest son told me that. And my daughter had called me that evening and said that Friday evening and said, Ma, grandma in the hospital. I said, okay. I said, well, I'll come out there. I'll be out there the weekend. I leave church Sunday and come out there after church Sunday. So she said, okay. And so she said, Grandma had asked about you. And I said, okay. She asked, well, do Marita know? Say, yeah, she know. So and then my mom, oh Lord. Then Bree said, no, mama doing okay with it this time. So that set Friday night, well, Saturday, early Saturday morning, Verena called and said, grandma going to surgery. So I said, okay, I'll let me get up and call me an Uber. She said, no, mama, you just lay there and you come, like you said, you come Saturday. She said, I'm here. So I said, okay. So my mama wanted to know, well, make sure you call my daughter and my granddaughter to let them know what's going on. They called Verena. Verena called me. Okay. And left church Sunday. Went and stayed with my mom at ICU. You can come in at 8:30, but you got to leave by 8 o'clock. Every day. Every day I was there every morning from 8:30 to 8 o'clock. 8:30 to 8 o'clock every day. But I prayed that Friday night when my mom, when she was, I got on the side of my bed and I prayed and I asked God to give me the patience, Lord, to deal with whatever is coming. And I said, Lord, I'm not going to even be selfish because about 15 years earlier, I had prayed and turned my face to the wall and asked God to just give my mama some more time. Give my mama. I prayed the same prayer that Hezekiah prayed when he turned his face to the wall, and God gave him 15 years more. And I prayed that prayer. I prayed like I thought Hezekiah prayed, and God granted me 15 more years with my mom. 15 years to get it right, 15 years to settle things. And when I prayed for my mom that Friday night, I just said, I didn't pray for to prolong her life. I prayed and asked God to give me the strength to endure whatever it is I got to endure to go through this, not to be selfish, not to ask you to prolong her life when she is tired, her body is tired. I'm going to be selfish and ask you to give her some more time and you want to take her on home to glory, but I want her to stay here. And then if you allow her to live, give me the patience to endure with having to take care of her. And God did all that. And I asked God to give me, there was a peace that came over me. Every day I was at that hospital, every day, not grudgingly, because I wanted to and because I needed to be there. Every day I was at a hospital. I had to make the decision to stop my mama dialysis. I had to make the decision to put my mama in hospice. I had to make some hard decisions. But however, the peace of God, the guidance of God, and the love of God got me through that. And the grudge that I was holding, I didn't know. I forgot all about that until my mom passed away. And things wasn't in order like they should be. I couldn't cry because I had to get all of that together. I couldn't hold no grudge. You know, I'm saying, you telling me that I need to do this and I need to do that, but you didn't do what you told me what I needed to do. You didn't show me. You didn't say, Maritha, my papers are here. Maritha this and Maritha that. She didn't do that. So what she didn't do for me, I had to do for my daughter. I did for my daughter. Well, you know where my papers are. I don't want no church service where they singing and doing all that, telling, all of that. If I die today, bury me in two. When the insurance money come, do what you gotta do. We could have y'all have a graveyard service. I don't want no t-shirts. I don't want none of that over me. I don't want y'all to be prolonging that agony. And then I thought I was good, but I was getting angrier and angrier and angrier at my mom. And then I said, you know what? And when I decided to let it go, I feel better. I feel better, so much better since I laid my burdens down. I can't blame folks as I'm a hothead and I did exactly what folks knew I would do. Cut up, had security. Girl, I did. My daughter took care of everything. So I didn't have to take care of the funeral part. But this part, she said, Ma, this all on you. And I'm going to tell you, I did not know what to do. I called my pastor. My pastor said, Maritha, he said, everything you need to do, he said, write it down. He said, and every time you do one, mark it off. When you do something else, mark it off. He said, inch by inch is a cinch, yard by yard is hard. And so I want you, Miss Peanut, to say, is it anything too hard for God? When you find what's hard for God, you let me know. And I'm going to be praying for you, sis. I am going to be praying. I'm going to be praying for you. Hey, Miss Monica, Auntie got me crying this morning. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But you got to let it go, boo. You got to let it go. You got to forgive though. You got to forgive whatever. You got to forgive whoever got you holding a grudge. You got to forgive them. You got to forgive them. And then you got to forgive yourself for hurting yourself because you're not hurting them, you're hurting yourself. And Miss Peanut, sister girl, I am going to pray that God give you the relief that you need. I'm going to pray and ask God to give you the peace that surpasses all understanding. I'm going to ask God to help you not lean on your own understanding. I'm going to ask God to just whisper in your ear and let you know that you are loved and you are deeply loved. I'm going to pray and ask God to just wrap his arms all around you and that you feel the peace of God, the love of God. I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray for you that you let that go, that you let it go because it's harming you. It's not harming them. And when you make that conscious decision, read Psalms 27. Read Psalms 27. Read Psalms, is it 37? Psalms 27. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Whom shall I be afraid of? Psalms 34 says, I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. My soul shall make her boast in the Lord. The humble shall hear thereof and be glad. Oh, magnify the Lord with me and let us exalt his name together. I sought the Lord and he heard me and delivered me from all my tears. They looked upon him and were lightened, and their faces were not ashamed. This poor man cried, and the Lord heard him and saved him out of all his trouble. The angel of the Lord encamped around about them that feared him and delivered him. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Bless, blessed is the man that trusts the Lord. And Psalms 37 says, fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity. For they shall soon be cut down like the grass and wither as the green herbs. Trust in the Lord and do good, so shall thou dwell in the land, and verily shall be fed. Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thy heart. Commit thy way unto the Lord, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass, and he shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and thy judgment as the noonday. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prosper in his ways, because of the man who brings wicked device to pass. Cease from anger, forsake wrath. Fret that not thyself any wise to do evil. I read you Psalms 37. I read you Psalms 34. And I told you about Psalms 27. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked, even my enemies and my foes, came to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and fell. Psalms 30, Psalms 27, I love it in its entirety, but my favorite part of this is Psalms 27, verse 14. 13 and 14. It said, I had fainted unless I believed to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. And verse 14 says, wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thy heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. Now, you could go, I hope you took those those scriptures. I want you to read those scriptures. And if you have to read them over and over and over and over and over and over, read them over and over and over and over and over and over. But sister, just know that there's somebody praying for you. I'm praying for you because I don't want you holding that. I don't want you holding that. So in the meantime and in between time, I'm going to be waiting for you to say, you know what? I had to let it go. I had to let it go. And you let it go for you, for the better of you, so you can find that peace, that you could get your joy back, that you could have real happiness. And your real happiness is not predicated on nothing other than the joy and the peace of the Lord. I'm out. And for real, we'll talk. We'll talk tomorrow. Lord's willing, we will talk tomorrow. I will see you here 8 o'clock, y'all. Y'all have the best day ever. Have a day filled with God blessings. Have an amazing day filled with so much peace. When they look at you, they just don't. You walk around looking like you stepped into a bed of sunshine. So I'm looking forward to speaking with you, with each and every one of you tomorrow morning. So let God be your peace today. Amadi, talk with you later.